Hey y'all, so today is Money Monday and I wanted to talk about this whole discussion on good debt versus bad debt and my stance on it. But before we get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hey y'all, I just released my first financial literacy ebook, How I Became Debt Free in 22 Months. This is an easy, educational, and encouraging guide. I want you to check it out. It's only $5. Look in the link in the description box below and click that button. All right, y'all. So I don't know about y'all, but growing up, I did always hear, a certain type of message when it came to financial literacy, right? So that message typically surrounded credit and paying bills. And then I did hear about debt. But one of the things that, I really heard about debt, first things first was that everybody has debt. It's going to happen. You're going to be in debt, the rest of your life, blase, blase. Of course, I heard that. We all have heard that. But I also heard about, good debt versus bad debt. And that, you're going to have debt, so it's okay, but you need to have this type of good debt, so that you can look good to creditors and so that you can have a good financial future. So let's break this good debt versus bad debt thing down. So let's start with, the bad debt, right? So this is typically, when people are talking about good debt versus bad debt, when they're talking about bad debt, they're talking about things like payday loans, credit card debt, cars, things that do not appreciate in value, things that actually go down, as soon as you take them out. Things that are not going to help you in the long run. So I don't know about y'all, drop it in the comments and let me know. But what other types of bad debt have you heard about? Now, the good debt typically circled around student loans, buying a house, having a business, the things that are supposed to increase, your net worth, that are supposed to pay a dividend, basically things that, help you in the long run, so to speak, financially. That was what I typically heard when it came to this whole discussion on good debt. Now, fast forward to someone who is now debt free. If you're new to my channel, your girl paid off $43,000 in 22 months last July. So July 2022, I became debt free. And throughout my financial journey, a lot of the things that I had heard, they took on a new meaning. They were just simply not true. They were not a factor in my debt-free journey. And one of those things is the good debt versus a bad debt discussion. Where I stand on this thing is that all debt, is bad. You owe it all. It all stops you from being able to live a certain life, that you want to live. It keeps you just in that rat race. Let's unpack the whole student loans are good debt. Listen, if you don't know that student loans ain't good debt, I need to have a personal conversation with you, okay? But think about that. We've all been told, oh, go to school, take out these loans. It's going to pay off in the long run. Listen, let me go ahead and talk to that education major who's watching this right now. I don't know if anybody told you, but you taking out that 50K student loan, that 100K student loan to go be a teacher, and you talking about it's going to pay a dividend? Girl or sir, no ma'am. We all, have been affected by student loan debt, and I think we all can agree that nothing is good about it. So sometimes we hear these messages, oh, you need this type of debt, this is the good debt. No, it ain't. There is nothing good about, stealing from your financial future, about having to make somebody else rich on your debt. So where I stand on the good debt versus bad debt is that there's none. It's all bad, okay? Now, there are some things like a house, right? A house is typically going to increase your net worth. It's going to gain some equity, so on and so forth. You know, we know that owning a home is really big regarding one's financial future. So I would definitely say, you know, a house is something that is going to help someone within the long run, right? But I think it's not subscribing to the fact that I have to, you know, work my whole life to pay this thing off, or I'm gonna be 82, you know, by the time it's paid off, then I'll be able to retire, you know, and live this good life. My stance, you know, on debt is that it steals from your future. I know for me, your girl was stressed. Your girl was just not like living her best life. You know, I was stuck. And that's what debt does. So I think it's so important for us to not get caught up on, well, I need to have this type of debt because this is what's going to help me. Listen, it all is making somebody else rich, okay? And I think that it takes just a reframing of our mind about the way that we view debt, because that was me, you know, when I was on my debt-free journey, I wasn't worried about good debt versus bad debt because I had all those payments, you know, that were really taken away from my ability to be able to go out and do the things that I wanted to do. But I want to know, drop down in the comments and let me know, what is your stance on the whole good debt versus bad debt? You know, are there some things that you are always going to be willing to go into debt for? Drop down in the comments and let me know. And if you want to know more about my financial journey, click the link to my $5 e-guide in the description box below. Bye.